Okay. My notes. Very well. Right now, I really want to address one thing. This is very important. Perhaps the most important thing when it comes to emotional intelligence, which is perspective. It's all about perspective. Recently, a close friend of mine was telling me about a bad experience she had many years ago. And she was telling me that this was more or less a trauma in her life, an unresolved issue, which, to be honest, we all have those, right? Everybody has lived experiences that have really, oh, you know, it's like have really, what's the word I'm looking for? Experiences. I don't want to say experiences that have changed your life. This connects to the main point I want to make. Everybody has had traumatic experiences, and I go like this because for some more than others, right? So my friend, going back to the point, my friend was telling me about this traumatic experience that she had several years ago. And the thing is, when that topic comes up in a conversation, it's a touchy, it's a touchy subject for her. She gets sensitive. And psychology would tell us, well, she has unresolved issues. She needs to work those issues out. She needs to go to therapy and talk to this with someone. I'm not saying therapy doesn't work. It has been proven to work for a lot of people, but I think there's something better, which is to own it and give it your perspective. You had a bad experience, all right. In that moment, I saw it as a bad experience because I was a different person. I was more mature. I was younger, naive, whatever you want to call it. So in that moment, I did see it as a trauma. I'm like, oh man, for me personally, I can tell you, I had in a fist fight back in junior high. I was 13, almost 14. And with one of the biggest guys in school, this guy was a linebacker, big, tough, strong guy, man, scary looking guy too. And he was in juvie. He had been to juvie prison. So this guy was a straight up gangster, man. For his age, I was scared out of my mind to face him. But it was a pride thing. So in the end, I did fight him. He kicked my ass. He kicked my ass, man. It was traumatic back then. I didn't want to get in a fight for years. I started training, doing push-ups, trying to get stronger, preparing for round 2, which never even came. I was just scared. I could really say he bullied me throughout that whole year because he knew he owned me. I was scared of him. He could smell the fear. So back then, I did see that this experience was traumatic. As the years went by, I just gave it my own spin. You know what? Yeah, I got my ass kicked, but it would have been worse if I didn't fight him. So in the end, I'm happy I fought him. And I learned a lot. I learned not to fight with the biggest guy in school. I learned to pick my battles. I learned to really use fighting as a last resort because I was really motivated by the kids screaming, fight, fight, fight. When you're a kid, you just, reputation is everything. So, but now that I have a different perspective in life, that was more than, I was 14, that was 20 years ago, man. So now I'm a different person. I'm a grown adult. So now I can give it my own spin. I can give it my perspective. It's not traumatic anymore. It's a fun anecdote that I can tell people. And I feel comfortable telling people because I grew a lot. I grew a lot from that experience. And whatever experience it might be, traumatic in that moment, I know it's hard. We have difficult experiences. I'll just give you some examples right now. Abortion could be a very touchy topic for a lot of people. Everybody has their own experience, whether you're a man, you're a woman, it's different for everybody. But in that moment, it could have been traumatic. But then if you like where you are now in your life, you could say, you know what, it was the right decision. As hard as it was going through that moment, I did it. I survived it. And now I'm capable of not just telling my story, but advising others about it, telling them, it turns out all right. It's okay. In the end, it's better because you have priorities, whatever your story may be. But yeah, giving your spin on the situation, perspective. That's what the media does. That's what politicians do. Every politicians, when there's a scandal out, what do? They just give themselves the privilege to just spin the story. You know, oh, a politician got caught cheating on his wife. Well, now guess what? He makes a public apology, and now he becomes a martyr in some way. Oh, I'm sorry. We all make mistakes. I'm human. Now I've turned to God, and now, you know what? They put their own spin on it. So why can't we do it in our personal life? Put our own spin on our experiences. Hell yeah, we can do it. Of course. And that leads me to the key word here, empowerment. Just empowerment. When you give your own spin to your experiences, you change the rhetoric, you really do, you can make something negative look positive. And guess what? When you give it your own spin, it turns out that's what it is. Because in the end, it's your story, it's your experience. Nobody's going to tell you how you felt about a certain thing, how you lived a certain experience. Only you. So if you change the experience from a negative experience to a positive experience, you could pretty soon be full of only positive experiences, even if they were traumatic in that moment. Now with maturity and perspective, you can really change the outlook on your whole history. That's power. That's empowerment. So, like one of my favorite Marvel superheroes was saying in one of his movies is use it to your own benefit. That's it.